Building the farm of the future, Virginia Tech is now working on innovative research to make the Commonwealth's most profitable industry even more efficient.
10 News reporter Jessica Jewell shows us how they're harnessing new technology in agriculture and what it means for you.
From the sky to the soil, researchers here at Virginia Tech are analyzing how they can incorporate technology into every aspect of agriculture, creating the farm of the future.
You'll note we have just a standard battery pack on the side of the halter.
With a simple sensor,
We have a GPS tracker. That's what this piece is.
and creative use of technology,
3 times a minute, that halter is chirping out to our radio here.
Virginia Tech is leading the charge on bringing farms into the digital era,
The industry is changing a lot, and it's changing rapidly.
where farmers use iPads as often as they use tractors.
To find ways to improve the sustainability of our food production systems.
It's all part of a relatively new effort called the Smart Farm Innovation Network.
The whole idea is to better meet the needs of industry.
The largest industry in the Commonwealth, agriculture and forestry, churning out more than $91 billion a year in economic impact. The Hokies' new effort should maximize that, getting research on new technology to farmers faster.
We think we can get it down to about $20 in equipment.
Robin White is focusing on livestock.
We're hoping to use that sensor to do things like monitor whether the horse's head is up or down, monitor as they chew, this portion moves so we can monitor their chewing activity.
That's just the beginning. Researchers are bio-designing plants to be resistant to drought and disease and developing drone technology to communicate with robots and harvesting equipment.
I knew technology would change, of course, and we would be adopting new technologies and new practices. I never dreamed that it would move this quickly.
They're only about a month into this project so far and still have a long way to go. Right now, they're working to secure funding to keep the research going. In Blacksburg, I'm Jessica Jewell, 10 News, working for you.